Thai Language Lesson 1. This is the best dictionary app, but you cannot trust it 100%. You need to learn. Okay, so going to try and do basic Thai language 1. There'll be multiple modules of this. I could do a whole freaking channel on this, but I'm retired. But but all joking aside, this will really help you. This just should get you on a proper start. If you start wrong, you can really make this hard. The Thai language is, I've read in multiple websites and I've talked to a couple of language experts, and it's kind of generally agreed Thai is maybe the second hardest language in the world, behind only Mandarin to learn. I guess it's really difficult. And it's generally, or often it can be, triple or quadruple translation between English and Thai. You've got to translate from English to Pai Ban, which we'll talk about in this. You'll see what that means, to Thai, and back and forth. And then they don't speak like we do. They don't think like we do. Their sentence structure is not like ours. You've got to do that. And then you've got colloquialisms, hence there's a fourth translation sometimes. And all that can be daunting. And I say all that up front to just say, you got to take it slow and take it easy. And you don't have to know any of this, but it will really enrich your life here. There's no scenario where this does not help you. Not to mention the added brain function. My short-term memory has improved. I'm just sharper. I used to be a really sharp young guy. I got a pretty big degree, and it was difficult to get, and I graduated #1 in my program. All that great stuff. And man, I felt mentally slow last few years, and I've picked up. I can feel it, and I've picked up, and it's helped me feel better. Just in my daily, going to have a beer with my friend and remembering to go do this or go do that, just my daily life, it helps. So keeping sharp is worth it. So, and I'll show a screenshot of the dictionary app that I use. Me and a couple of my friends who are really into the language have tried multiple apps. Let us have sorted that for you. There's one, I think they charge for it now, but it's worth it. It's very, very good, and it's very accurate. The only difficulty with it is it'll give you multiple choices for your search word in English, and then one or two of those is really the correct one. The other ones, maybe your other regions or someone else's opinion. But again, my girlfriend's a language teacher here and a high-level language teacher. So she says, the other ones aren't good. So you will still have to have help. And I can work on that another time. Anyway, so lesson 1 is going to be Sawadee Kap. So if someone is 1 day older than you, 1 month older than you, a year older than you, you think they might be older than you, Sawadee Kap. That is good morning, good afternoon, good night, pleased to meet you, take it for what you want. They use that greeting for everything, and that's easy. If they're younger than you, you just say Sawadee Kap. Now, none of this klap. Okay, I can do all the tones, but that is for a higher ranking senior Thai person, a Khon Thai, a Thai person. We're not Thai. This is Thailand, it's not Phalong land, okay? So go with their way. You're flexing on them. If you do that, you're literally pronouncing their word better and a higher level than they are when you talk to them, and they're like, oh God, now they're embarrassed. And they hate being embarrassed. So just Sawadee Kap. That's why I teach it this way. And that's what I say. And I can do the tones pretty good. A lot of them, not every one, but a lot of them. And I don't do it. It's flexing, and you shouldn't. Okay, enough about that. A cultural thing that goes with this. Don't use your feet. Feet are dirty here, and they're insulting. So, as I've mentioned before, I'm kind of a higher level martial arts guy. And I'm a 2nd degree black belt. So I'm really good with my feet, and I use my feet in my daily life. I can, open a door and all that stuff, hold it and everything, and I do it all the time. And man, people will wince, and they don't like to say anything. And I was at a paint store, and I pointed at a bucket with my foot. Just pointed at a bucket with my foot. Everybody freaked out. I appreciated their honesty, but I was a little embarrassed. I apologized, which we'll cover in a second. So, don't use your foot to hold a door. It basically means F you, go through the door. Don't do that. Don't use, when you're eating, don't point your feet towards the table. Point the soles of your feet away from the table. You know, the Middle Eastern thing we've all seen on TV, don't cross your legs man style and then have the bottom of your foot pointing towards someone. They seem to be less sensitive about that because I've done it, I do it. But I'll point my toe down. I have my shoes off at a table typically. And I kind of curl my toes away from the person and point them down to the floor, so it's clear I'm making an effort to point them away from the person as much as I physically can. And when I've done that, I've never had a problem. I've never had anyone look at me weird, and they would have. I've got a lot of Thai friends. They'd be very honest with me. They would be like, you know, alai, which means what. Watch the bottoms of your feet. If someone's way mad at somebody, they'll make a motion like to leave, and they'll take one of their bottoms of their feet and they'll point the bottom of their foot. So there'll be 3 points going forward, 2 hands and a foot. And that's a huge insult to just get out of here and don't come back. So watch the feet. You know, I like to be a gentleman. You know, I'm a strong guy. I've always had a couple of bucks to my name, and I can be proud of all that stuff, and I'm self-made and everything and all that great stuff. But I've always tried to be a gentleman. I've tried not to flex on people, and I've tried to be kind and all that. And here that really goes even longer. So particularly since you do get celebrity status here. As a Falang, particularly clean yourself up a little bit, take care of yourself. When you come here, buy some clothes associated with the culture. This is my gym shirt, so no fashion lessons today. There's no need to flex or anything like that. So just bowing, be a gentleman. But if don't wait for a lady to walk through that embarrasses them. They'll pause. Just walk on through. You can bow slightly, acknowledge them, smile at them, but just go through. Just go through. You don't need to. That's a hard habit to break. I still stop sometimes because I've always was a gentleman. Let the lady go first. Now, getting the door for a lady. Thai men don't do that, but boy, the Thai ladies love it. Love it, love it, love it. When you're dating, great dating tip, get the door. Do little things like that for them. But let them carry your packages. They want to carry your package. They want to show they're caring for their man. And the Thai women will gossip them if they don't do their job. It's the whole crab in a bucket thing. If you're not familiar, look it up. But the Thai women are definitely crabs in a bucket, and they pull each other down. I'm not here to change the entire 71 million Thai people here. I'm here to just be a decent human being. Yes is chai. Chai, like a chai tea latte, chai. No is my chai, not yes. Do you see how soft the culture and how polite the culture is? Be very wary. Don't start throwing the word my around. My has multiple meanings that would take an entire lesson or an hour to explain. Be very careful of using the word my. Just say chai and my chai. They'll be impressed that you know chai and my chai. They'll just be impressed with that. So chai, my chai, okay? And yes, not yes, okay? But don't use my any other way until you've really been taught how to use it, because it reverses the meaning of an entire sentence. And there was an extremely negative outcome about 2 years ago. Some Western men, I don't know if they were Aussies or Americans or what, they were saying something and saying it backwards, and they ended up getting beaten, and at least one of them lost their life over it. Now, not to scare you, that's incredibly rare. There's almost no violence here. Unless you're in a big city like Pattaya or the big tourist cities, then the criminals come. But out here, another reason for living immersively, there's virtually no violent crime of any kind. I mean, none. The only scary person walking around here is me. And I'm not here to hurt anybody. So be very careful of using the word my, but chai and my chai, those are good ones to start off with. I'll show the dictionary app in the video later. I'm just recording this literally at my gym, just finished my workout, so doing my Master of the Universe thing here. So the praying thing, if they're older, we covered that. Tones, you can go through the dictionary app, and what I like is you can press on the speaker button on any word and it'll pronounce it correctly for you, and the pronunciations are correct. I've checked them, they're correct. I've never seen one incorrect. The lady that does this is a Thai citizen who lives in San Diego somewhere, and she's running this whole thing. But just be careful on pronouncing things, because it is very picky. Probably should get a lesson, or maybe I'll give a lesson on the basic tones of Thai. If you don't hear the tones at first, most people don't, but over time you may pick them up. You definitely do start to hear them more and more over time. When you're unfamiliar, it all just sounds the same. If I say ma and ma, you might not see that big a difference, but I just said dog and doctor. My, ma, meh, dog, doctor, mother. You don't want to mix those up. And that's a fairly easy one. There's other ones that are really hard. I don't want to spend all morning on this, and I'm a little tired after my workout. But you get the idea. But forgive yourself on the tones, go through them, start to listen to the thing. You can start listening to Thai stuff on YouTube or wherever and just hearing Thai being spoken. It'll all sound like gobbledygook to you. Over time, you'll start to go, hey, those are words. Hey, those are syllables in a word. Hey, I've heard that word before. Oh, he's saying chai or my chai. I know what that means. He's doing sawadee kap. I know what that means. He's saying sawadee kap. But I know that's sawadee kap. And you'll start to recognize and learn a little bit organically. I'm going to leave on this video, I'm going to have a link to the official school that I go to. There's two that I go to, one with my girlfriend, and then there's an official one run by a lady named Yusini. Very nice lady, Yusini. You can go to her school online. She's very good. She's kind of I refer to her as the gold standard for learning Thai for a Westerner. For an English speaker. Her English is quite good. It's about as good as my girlfriend's, and they're the two best English speakers here that I've seen. A very good resource for you. Yeah, I think those are kind of the basics on Thai language. One, learn a couple words, speak slowly, and again, you can speak in English. And if you speak and pronounce each syllable slowly, hospital, and point hospital, and yourself is pom, hospital. I'm not going to do the sentence in Thai, but they'll understand this guy needs to go to the hospital. And you can do a lot by pointing and smiling and bowing, and 90% of them know way more Thai than they're letting on because they're shy and embarrassed. So it really goes a long way, and they generally are very helpful. They're very glad-hearted people. If the roles were reversed, I really don't think in America they'd get such a good reception. I'm confident they wouldn't. I really am confident they wouldn't. So they're really very good people. Okay? All right, lesson 1. Hello, Sawadee Kop. Yes, chai. No, my chai. Yourself, pom.